Hi there, welcome back to another vlog series with Katie and Susan. I am Katie Lemieux, a licensed marriage and family therapist in South Florida.
And I'm Susan Block, and I'm also a licensed marriage and family therapist in South Florida, and welcome.
Yep, and Susan and I are super passionate about working with couples, but you already know that, I'm sure, because you tuned into some of our other vlogs. And if you haven't yet, we totally invite you to check them out. So today we're going to be talking about addiction and how addiction resembles betrayal and affair in a relationship. And we're also going to give you some suggestions on how to support yourself if you are in a relationship where there's active addiction.
Yeah, and you know, like Katie said, addiction and affairs are so similar because of the betrayal that happens in the relationship, and how that addiction, whatever the addiction may be, it could be food addiction, gambling, drugs and alcohol, anything.
Spending. Sometimes people are spenders and they might hoard money or spend money or not pay the mortgage, things like that. And so when people are in a relationship and there's addiction, it does take on the form of betrayal, because if you think about it, a lot of times the person with the addiction has their own struggles. They're probably really not proud of what they're doing. They might feel ashamed, embarrassed. They don't want to disappoint you, so they hide things. They might lie. They might steal.
And it almost is like the other, the affair partner stepping
Absolutely.
into the relationship and coming between the two of you.
Right. Addiction is the affair partner. So Susan and I want to share some tips with you on how to help yourself in a relationship. So number one, the active addiction needs to be in recovery. So the person with the addiction really needs to get support for himself or herself. Of course, there's many groups like Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, Gambling Anonymous. So that's one aspect. You can do a support group like that.
And there's even support groups online. I've had clients that have talked about doing AA online, where they can't make it to a meeting, but they prefer to connect online with someone. Whatever that support looks like for you, just getting that support.
Right. Maybe you work with a therapist, or maybe you believe more in holistic health and personal growth. Maybe a life coach would help you in this area, depending on who you are and what you think would work best for you.
The bottom line is get the support, and get it as soon as you both have committed that this is the addiction and that there is betrayal in the relationship, getting the support you need in any form.
And also committing that you want to work on the relationship.
Exactly.
You guys really have to determine that is, do you want to work on this relationship? Do you want to be in the relationship? The other thing too is the person who does not have the addiction is they need support as well. Support groups, whether you also need your own individual counseling, because one of the aspects that we do in couples counseling is we really look at both parties and see how both contributed to what's happened in the relationship and how this addiction has wreaked havoc in the relationship. Right. Sometimes couples not knowingly enable one another, or distance in the relationship has been created because maybe this addiction has been around 3, 4, 5, 10 years. And so distance happens in the relationship, and neither of you guys are feeling loved, cared for, and that then creates its own issues as well.
Right, and you're choosing to stay in the relationship, yet you're kind of, at your wit's end, or you throw your hands up and just kind of wave the white flag and surrender to whatever's going on, yet you still desire that connection and love in the relationship, yet it's not there.
Right.
And so, something to be really mindful of is when you're going through the support and getting the help, whatever form that looks like, just understand that, the person who has the addiction and is getting the support might be taking some time away from the family or from you, so that they can get the support they need to create a healthy lifestyle for themselves. And over time, you might feel a bit resentful for the fact that they're taking this time away from the relationship, and just understand that that feeling of resentment is part of the process, and that needs to be worked through together.
Right. And another aspect is really exacting a high cost if the addiction becomes active again in the relationship and you start seeing those forms of betrayal. I know a lot of times people think like, oh, what do you mean, like divorce and separation? No, not necessarily, but you have to figure that out for your relationship. But it has to be a clear, high consequence should this happen again, because it's something that's at stake, and you guys both need to invest in that.
Right. Just like if you're at your job and you do something wrong, if you keep doing it wrong, eventually you're going to get written up, you're going to get demoted, or possibly fired. So I think we need to view relationships the same way, that there has to be consequences in the relationship if these things come back.
Right, and of course, as a couple, you want to get help. And that's where a professional couples counselor can come in, like Susan and I. But whatever you do is, number one, you want to make sure that you decide and make a commitment to be in your relationship, or maybe you take time away from your relationship, and then proceed accordingly. So
Absolutely.
we hope this was helpful for you guys, and if you are in this situation, don't be afraid to reach out for help. There's many people that want to support you. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Katie Lemieux. You can find me at familyandcouplescounseling.com, and you can also find our A to Z toolbox, relationship toolbox instructions at the end of this video.
And I'm Susan Block, and you can find me at PearlSpringsCounselingCenter.com, and thank you so much for watching.